What's going on, everybody? How's everyone out there doing? Before we get started, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Without further ado, hit that intro. So today, we will be discussing the card for WrestleMania 42. Now, a total, I believe, around 16 matches written down here in my notes, in my Google Docs. Of course, some of these matches are already confirmed. The first 5 matches are confirmed. So then after that, the rest of these are speculation, or I believe that will be soon to be announced. So we're going to start off first with the main event of night 2, which is confirmed, which will be CM Punk versus the World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk versus the Royal Rumble winner, the OCC, the only tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Put your ones to the sky, ladies and gentlemen, and acknowledge your tribal chief. I like the build so far. We finally got physical contact between these two. Roman Reigns currently has a bounty on the head of CM Punk for any Samoan who wants to come and get the smoke. Part of me wants The Rock to come out and help Roman, or maybe swerve us and cost Roman, since it's all this stuff about family and Samoans and bags on heads. And, Punk don't like, he respects the Usos, everyone else, but he really don't like Dwayne, the bald head fraud, and Roman. They could do something with that. Will they? I don't know. But nevertheless, I'm happy to see Roman versus Punk. And like I said, this match is going to be a good match. I believe this is going to be a banger. And whoever wins is going to lose the title to Braun Breaker at SummerSlam. Moving on, we have Liv Morgan challenging Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World title. Liv Morgan is the Royal Rumble winner, and Stephanie Vaquer is your current Women's World Heavyweight Championship. I see people online who absolutely hate Stephanie's reign. I see people who love it, and I see people who are like me. I'm in the middle. It's okay. I wanted her to lose to Raquel Rodriguez a month ago when they fought in that street fight, I believe, or no DQ, whatever match it was. It was fun. It was entertaining, and I really believed Raquel had earned the belt. Unfortunately, she did not win, and we're getting Stephanie versus Liv, and that's fine because this is going to be a good match too. This is one of those matches where, is one of the biggest stars available for Stephanie that she hasn't fought yet. They've been keeping them away from each other, and I believe this is going to be a good match in the end. Next up, we have Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, the night 1 main event. This has been confirmed for the WWE Championship. Randy Orton just turned heel, and I am happy. We're getting a more vicious, a more serious Orton moving forward, and that's great. That is great. That is great. That is great. Of course, he talked to a mystery person on the phone, getting people speculating on who it is. I have a few ideas of who it could be on the phone. Nevertheless, I am excited for this match, and I cannot wait for this to happen. Do I like how we got here? No, but it's not always about how you get there, Destination matters. We got a flat tire, a few bumps, but at the end of the day, we're where we're supposed to be. We got the match we all wanted for. We all prayed for it, and it happened. Unfortunately, Drew McIntyre was an innocent bystander in all of this, but not so innocent. Drew McIntyre, in storyline-wise, caused himself to lose the title because he had too many ops and he was doing too much. But still, at the end of the day, it sucks that Drew had to be sacrificed for this to happen, his title reign. But at least we got Drew's title reign, and we get Randy versus Cody, heel Randy versus Cody Rhodes. At least we get to do that. We don't fully get to, get our cake and eat it too, but we somewhat get to, we get half a slice. So that's good. Next up, we have Jade Cargill defending against Rhea Ripley. This is another situation of the biggest match possible. CM Punk and Roman is the biggest match possible after Seth's injury and after everything that happened, because they had to pivot. I wonder what they would have did with Punk if Seth never got injured. I actually do wonder what CM Punk's WrestleMania match would have been. We got Jade versus Rhea because Bianca is not available. And so this is the biggest match you could do for Jade. And this could really help if she retains, solidify her title reign. She needs a big win. Like Tiffany got the win over Charlotte. This will be like that for Jade over Rhea, because Rhea is not one is not one to mess with. You know, she is a force to be reckoned with. You know, Rhea is like that, and she's the most over woman on the roster. She's up there with Cody, Punk, all them. She's really good, and the fans love her, and the crowd love her. And Jade needs to beat someone like her. Jade's been feuding with, no disrespect to Michin, B-Fab, no disrespect to them, but she needs a real challenger who feels like an actual threat, and that's what Rhea is. And if she's able to beat Rhea, that would do wonders for her. And like I said, this is a big money match because they needed help with tickets, and this is the best available match you have other than Charlotte versus Jade. Next up, the last confirmed match is that simple: Obafemi, Brock Lesnar. No bread, no water, just me. Hopefully the right person wins. I can't wait for this match. Now we're getting into my speculation. Let's get into it. Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. I am 100% sure that this match is taking place at WrestleMania 42 with some type of stipulation, whether it's a cage, I quit, Sin City Street Fight, second year in a row for Drew McIntyre. It's not going to be a normal match. They're having a normal match tomorrow on SmackDown. That match is not going to end with a winner. That match not even start. They just gonna be fighting each other. They're gonna fight throughout the arena, and then they're gonna say, enough. See y'all at WrestleMania and blank in a blank. Whatever it is. Maybe they do Hell in a Cell. Drew was rumored to fight Cody in Hell in a Cell. They actually might do that for Cody versus Randy. And nevertheless, Drew versus Jacob with some type of stipulation. Next up, Dominic versus Finn Balor is happening. They just kicked Finn out of Judgment Day. The story writes itself. No IC title on the line. Speaking of the IC title, because Dominic doesn't have it anymore, I thought that was going to be the match and Finn was going to win the IC title. That's not what they're doing. Nevertheless, we're getting Penta, I believe, at Mania in some type of big multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship. Throw Javon in there. You might throw the Grande Americanos and throw some other people in there. As far as I'm concerned, it's going to be a good banger of a match, regardless of what they do. I said the El Grande Americanos because I believed for the longest we were getting them in a one-on-one match, Mask versus Mask, but they did the one-on-one match on Monday, but then they didn't mask the original El Grande Americano after they won, and they could have. So maybe they're saying that for WrestleMania, or maybe they should saying that for AAA. But hey, they could just add them to the IC title match. Speaking of IC title matches, next matchup, AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. I thought we were going to get a four-way at one point between Maxine Dupree, Natty, AJ, Becky. Seems like they're dropping that altogether because, of course, of the history that was happening. Not history, but what was happening at the time. Natty eliminated Becky from the Rumble. Natty was feuding with Maxine Dupree. Maxine is friends with AJ, and then Natty attacked AJ, and then I thought we was going to get something, and we haven't. Maybe they still will. I highly doubt it at this point, but I believe we're getting AJ versus Becky Lynch in some type of stipulation match. Next up, we have the Women's U.S. title match, which I hope happens. It's finally going to be defended at WrestleMania. Julia versus Tiffany Stratton versus Chelsea Green is the match I have slated. I hope Chelsea Green is healthy by then so she could compete. If not, it's going to be Tiffany versus Julia, and I think that will be a good match, and it'll be very prestigious, help add prestige to that title. Next up, Seth Rollins versus The Vision. Look here, I have hope. I have a 0.1% hope that Braun Breaker comes back in time for WrestleMania. I doubt he's going to, but I would love for that to happen and get Breaker versus Seth. However, I do not think that is where we are heading. At first, I thought we were going to get Seth versus Brock because, Michael Cole brought up, how does Brock feel about Seth? And then we figured out how Seth tied into the Brock and Paul thing, because then that led to Obafemi. So, my thing here is, we're getting the Usos versus The Vision this Monday, I believe, on Raw for the tag team titles. I thought that was going to be a Mania match. Since that is not a Mania match, maybe Seth cost The Vision the titles, and we end up doing LA Knight in Seth Rollins versus division at Mania, because I feel like LA Knight has to be involved to a certain capacity because he's been involved with division this whole time and they left him out of War Games. So don't leave him off of Mania against them. And you could do that as a match. Maybe they do a triple threat for the tag. I don't know. But whatever Seth Rollins' path is to Mania, it deals with division, whether it's a tag match or a one-on-one or something else. It deals with division. Next up, we have Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. This match, they have history. They've been talking to each other backstage. Sami Zayn seems like he's about to turn heel, turn Trick babyface, do that double turn that's rumored, and it's going to be a great match. Next up, we have a multi-woman ladder match. We have I have it listed as a TLC match. Nia Jax and Last Legend, the Irresistible Forces versus the Bellas versus Charlexa versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Because the women's tag titles is one of the best book things about the women's division. And you can just culminate it in the TLC. All these teams have been feuding with each other. It's only right we ended in a big old TLC match. Just like they should have did last year with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Instead, they didn't, but we did it later on at SummerSlam. But they should have had a match at WrestleMania. But anyway, that's what I believe. You can add the Kabuki Warriors, depending on what you do with Io Sky. But we'll get to that in a minute. Next up, we have The Miz versus Jelly Roll. Now, I have two possible matches we could do. The Miz and Kid Wilson versus Jelly Roll and Royce Keys. And the reason why I have that is because that's what I saw rumored online. Then I see that Royce Keys isn't going to be a part of it. It's just going to be a one-on-one match. I have no clue. But at the end of the day, Jelly Roll they're going to follow up on this. And either way, we're going to get the Jelly Roll and the Miz going against each other in some capacity at WrestleMania. Next up, I have Io Sky versus Asuka / Raquel Rodriguez, Damage Control triple threat. Now, the path wasn't clear to me for Io. At first, I thought she was going to go after Julia, but Julia is preoccupied with Tiffany and hopefully Chelsea Green. So, because like I said, they're all intertwined with each other. So, and shout out Chelsea Green. She hurt her foot and she's still appearing weekly on SmackDown. Shout out to Chelsea. But I would love to see Io versus Asuka at WrestleMania. You could also do Kyrie versus Asuka versus Io, the Damage Control triple threat match. And I could see that because of how they're doing Asuka and Kyrie, with Asuka verbally, physically abusing Kyrie, and she finally gets sick of it and stands up for herself. However, because of what transpired this past Monday between Raquel Rodriguez and Io Sky, Liv Morgan, and Stephanie, I could see them doing a Raquel versus Io. But either way, I think Io is either going to fight Raquel or she will end up fighting Asuka at WrestleMania. Next up, the men's U.S. title match. It could be Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes. I'm fine with that. Or you could do a big ladder match or another big multi-man match to get as many people as you can on the card. Because it's a lot of talented people in the SmackDown mid-card division who deserves the chance to shine. Then I have Damian Priest and R-Truth versus the MFTs. This matchup seems like it's not happening at WrestleMania because it is happening this Friday, I believe. And if it does happen this Friday, I think the Wyatts are going to cost the MFT the titles and we'll get new champions. And then maybe they'll do something with the Wyatts and the MFTs at Mania in a big old brawl or something, I don't know. Then last but not least, I have Gunther versus Rey Mysterio. This match is very simple. Gunther was feuding with Dragon Lee. He has retired Goldberg, Cena, AJ. Rey is next because of Rey's connections with Dragon Lee and because he has a connection with John Cena and, he respects John Cena, he respects AJ Styles, he respects Goldberg, and he's just another legend who I could see possibly retiring at the drop of a hat like it kind of felt like with AJ Styles. At least with Goldberg and John Cena, we knew it was happening. We knew it was happening with AJ, but it felt like so out of nowhere. And the fact that raising the Hall of Fame and everything, he could just retire when he feels like it. And I would like for it to happen against Dom to retire him, but it would do wonders for Gunther's career. However, Rey Mysterio, according to reports, is currently injured, and I don't know what's going to happen. So that puts that match in jeopardy, and I have no clue what you end up doing for Gunther. Maybe you do Gunther versus a hooded mask figure, and we get the hooded mask figure retired. That's what you do at Mania. Gunther versus hooded mask figure, and Gunther, I'm gonna retire you, and we never see it again because WWE overbooks it. But you let me know what you want to see at WrestleMania match-wise. You let me know what you think they're gonna do with the Raw Tag Team Championships and SmackDown Championships if they're gonna have a match at Mania. I think they have to, at least with the Raw Tag Team titles, because you can't leave the Usos, Jey Uso, off of Mania or off of Mania without a match. So they'll try to find some type of competition for them. But like I said, with this whole Vision stuff and Seth Rollins, I have no clue. It's a lot that could possibly happen. And we're on the road to WrestleMania. So anyway, until next time, be good people. Remember, God loves you. Alrighty, y'all. Steven Cotter out. Peace.